Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the official ARK Podcast number 210. My name's Mistletoad, and I'm here live with the core team. Your host for tonight, as always, the one and only Mr. Atlas. Please take it away, sir.
Thank you for the introduction, Mistletoad. And folks, welcome back to another edition of the ARK Daily Podcast, Monday, May 29th, a holiday, Memorial Day over the United States. I've just found out today there's a holiday over here in Europe tomorrow. And in a lot of places like Latvia, they're celebrating, I think they won a bronze medal in hockey. I'd have to look that up again. But yeah, a lot of celebration going on. We hope that everyone's had a fantastic weekend. We are, ladies and gentlemen, now live with the fourth round. One quick second. Let me get the right thing. We're the fourth round, folks, of the pre-seed. And taking here a quick look, we are 37.82% done. That is right, folks. I'll repeat it, 37.82%, 40,000 ARK up for grabs. And I don't know if you noticed, but your ArkFi tokens are being honored and received at $2.50. Not at market value. $2.50, folks. We want everyone here to have the best opportunity. Price is down. Let's take those 130,000 tokens, put them back into the ARK Vault, virtual burn, taking the pressure off. Great meetings happening here today. The team is absolutely pumped. I haven't felt this excited, I think, in quite some time. Seeing the ideas, seeing things that we can do as a community, as a development team together to really bring the confidence back into ARK, folks. So there's no doubts in everyone's minds as to the direction we're going and how we're going to get there. We understand the variables, everybody's wanting the timeline for the on and off ramps, and we understand the amount of work that was done over this weekend. I mean, it's just been nonstop, folks. It's looking amazing, but everything has to be quality here. If you rush and you do things the wrong way, if you cut corners, it will always come back to bite you. It will always create a bigger problem. It takes its focus, it takes its patience. These are many pieces that are connecting APIs, banks. It is not child's play. It's not the stuff that we're used to seeing in the space where people slap on a little smart contract and they do a little pre-seed and then they go and invest and play their little games and, win Lambo and all that crap. This is serious business, folks. It has to be done right. With that, we're looking at improvements that we can do, upgrades, bringing more security, bringing more stability into the system. We're going to be sharing that with you tomorrow. The brightest minds in ARK were with us today. And the overwhelming feeling of just positive assurance and confidence is overwhelming me at this point. Amazing. So we know where we're headed. We know what we have to do. We know what we can improve. And we need to communicate with our community. There's going to be some polling, some choices. We're all in it together. And we all want the best for the project. We all want the best for the folks that came in the past, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. I was talking with a gentleman today that had two big people. One's from like a sort of a DJ booking company and has a lot of contacts in that field. That guy put in 8K, another one put in 6K. I'm thinking, maybe right before we had a drop in price, the heinous debacle that came upon us. So there's a lot of folks that are really underwater at this moment. There's folks that were in the beginning, got their ROI, and just kept investing and adding, feeling so confident, understanding what this team's able to build. And we have to work our way forward, folks. And we will. We will not be denied. We will not slow down. We will not be discouraged. We will continue with fire burning in our veins, desire to make sure everybody here wins. Whatever it takes, it's going to happen. Hard choices, we've made them. Finding solutions, taking pressure off, we've done it. Bringing the buy volume back, we're going to do that. There's a lot in store. So I hope you folks are ready for some information. I'll be coming over for all of you tomorrow. We're going to have some good things to look at and discuss. Let's look at what's happening right now. 5,374 ARK Vault accounts. Liquidity at 292,988 BUSD. IOC reserves 403,219. IOC and liquidity are doing the buys right now. It's very transparent. If you sit there and you pay attention, you look at PCS and you look at IOC, it's not very extreme, but the big pressure has gone off and will continue to fall off. Price is having its impact until we get the buys back. We've already said it. I think it's very transparent and clear. We're not finding our floor. We're not able to rally. That's why all these pieces are going to be plugging in and coming in together. The Spark price, sheesh, I think that might even be an all-time high. I don't know if Mistletoe or Coach Brad, if you can confirm 752.
No, we've had a 900.
Really?
Spark.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
One where
You
you didn't run it. You didn't run it till the end of the podcast, and the podcast was like 4 hours or something like that.
That's the one.
Okay,
It
that's
was a
what
special one. There was a reason for it. I can't remember what the reason, but yeah, it was like 900 and something.
It may have been one of the I Heart ARK ones where we were letting people talk about what they love about ARK. Yeah. Wow.
No, you know what it was? I can tell you what it was. It was that night that Atlas went on an airplane ride or something, and the next podcast wasn't until 8 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock.
There we go. There we go.
Johnny
That makes
Fawcett
sense.
memories.
Yeah, we can look here down the list. Okay, we had a 710 not too long ago. 769. Oh, we had a 769. Yeah, on the 24th. Okay. So, yeah, I'm trying to find that 1,000 one that you guys are talking about. I don't see it.
I think it's 817.
It was the day you went on to the secret location, so you probably know that.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm not seeing the date here. Okay, there it is. On the 11th. Okay, that makes sense. May 11th. All right, let's go. So no, we're not close to there yet. But 752.67, that's $1,399.97 BUSD. And 10% is going to go to the MVP right now. The MVP holding it down. Their wallet ends in 4B45. Great earn, my friend. I think it's going to get really exciting as the buys start coming in and the big, massive push comes to see this MVP really go through the roof. So, yeah, we're going to get back to it. We've enjoyed so much, and it will continue. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our great friend Brett Nordine to hear from him for a bit, and then let's go do some all aboard and Spark. We got also the Wheel of the Toad giving away money, and then we'll go to DeFi sessions. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Alice, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Oh, good. Outside, so might get a little bit of a wind noise, but yeah, just busy day. Yeah, we're working on a couple things to enhance and allow higher participation level in the legacy NFTs. That's going to be one of the things that we're going to drop some alpha on, along with some enhancements to the foundation. We've just been working through those today. As you mentioned, we had some great meetings just to try to help stabilize the liquidity and also offer, we're going to be going on these AMA tours, and there's a lot of people that don't have, $1,000 for the silver NFT. And we want participation from as many different people as possible, and allowing investors easier access to those legacy NFTs is kind of what we're working on. In addition to some stabilizing things for the foundation, we want to build liquidity back up and incentivize that. And so we're just working through those two, and those two will kind of work hand in hand. So we're hammering out some of the details. I think we've got the legacy NFT thing kind of licked, but the foundation, we're working on some more mechanics for that. So that'll be coming soon. Alex making great progress on the on-ramp today. Saw quite a bit from him, some great videos of the user flow and process and things, as well as the off-ramps as well. So those are going to be coming soon. We're going to announce some things this week. Just waiting on a couple things to button up and do some more testing. And then hopefully we'll have some firm dates for everybody, because I know those are top of mind for all the investors as well as the team. So we're looking to push those out and make a splash with those and really get some revenue coming in, much needed revenue into the ILC, as well as build some excitement and become, an ROI DApp with some real utility and real revenue coming into it, which we know will help that price floor and buy pressure come back in. I think that's what people want to see. I think that's what a lot of people are waiting on. So that's what this week's going to be all about. Those two different enhancements to legacy NFT and foundation, as well as the two utilities, the on and off ramp that we've been waiting on for quite some time, and building excitement on our end. I know that team's pumped, and we have some very positive sentiment happening. I think on our end, we just want that to translate over to the community, and I think that it will. So that's about it from me. Anything else you wanted me to cover?
No, I think that's it. I kind of went off on a bit of a rant already. Took a lot of the the thunder right from the beginning there. Didn't leave you much, but we're excited.
Yeah. No, I think we're just we're tweaking and improving, and we have to be able to adapt to market conditions and community sentiment and things like that. And as you said, the music will never stop. This thing will go forever if we let it. So we've got to be here and always improving and always working and building and doing what we do. So it's great to see the pre-seed contract. I did just take a look at that, and we're like 37% filled. So that's moving fast. I think when we get to about 30,000 out of 40,000, it's going to go real quick, because people are going to, they're going to see the end in sight there. And if they have been building up ARK in their wallets, they're going to start dumping them in. So I would say that last 10% or so is going to go fast.
Yeah. And I hope they appreciate it. I think they do. We're going to go ahead and open it up to some suggestions. But initially we had said really, having it be at the market rate of wherever ARK would be. But man, we love this community. We break our backs, bend over every which way we can. We've sacrificed, selling, the whole team, advisors, for months, since February, and we understand what's ahead, and we are going to do everything we can. So through the meeting today, we came to an understanding of giving that 250, making sure that everyone really gets their opportunity, and at the same time, not having low caps, because that did kind of stretch out the round 1, 2, 3. We had to do that. But now it's just an open sea, really, there, a bonanza for folks to capitalize and take advantage of. And hopefully we are able to be effective, and we understand the amount of tokens that are in wallets right now. We've had them earmarked. The community has heard, has listened, and this is having a great effect. I don't know if people understand how massive of an effect this is having on that sell pressure. We see it going down, but if it wasn't there and the buys weren't there, folks, I think we would be in a very, very different position. So I want to, really thank the community for buying in, understanding the bigger picture, understanding the hard decisions that we have to make today for a better tomorrow, and also appreciating that we're doing everything in our power to balance everything out, find that floor, be able to pivot and move on, understanding that the sentiment right now is down, and there's a lot of concern. There's, the utilities that have to come out. So as everything comes together, we're going to be able to shift that, because we talked about the external enemies, but we also discussed recently the internal ones. And those are the ones that are in our own minds, our fears, our doubts, our concerns. And we understand that there's always that risk, how far can it go if I get in now? So we've I think, been diligent in telling people, hey, listen, slow down, let's be calm. Let's find the solutions. Let's gauge where we are. Let's take the pressure off, because what's the biggest problem? That's sell pressure without the buy pressure. Let's alleviate that. Okay, that's almost done. Now let's come into the second part of tightening down the system and finding how we can be more efficient in the stability. We understand what happened with bond. Folks were freaking out to save their $250. Then understanding that caused a panic here, where so many folks just bought into that and really took so much liquidity out of the whole system. So we've tried to put the brakes on it the most we can. So we're seeing what we can do to improve that section and how we can offer more. If you are able to incentivize and make transitions not painful, but actually more profitable. And we're going to, really ask that everybody pays attention when we come and break it down for you, so you understand how you're getting more and how we're able to further balance the whole ecosystem. It's going to be very interesting. I think there's a lot of creativity. A lot of things make sense. And I think that once we cross that switch and we get back into, burning the ketones, we're going to feel a whole different environment. We're going to be getting back into where we were before, which was earning and understanding the DCA opportunities, understanding that a lot of us are, folks are telling us, hey, we have friends ready to come in. When's the right time? When is the on-ramp, which we're understanding for us to be effective in onboarding the average Joes and Janes. We need the mobile application to have the components. We understand that it's a mobile world, 1.4 billion people, unbanked adults in the world. They need a product like this. Americans living paycheck to paycheck, they need a product like this, where you put a small risk capital, not getting a third mortgage on your house, but just a small investment that through time will grow, ups and downs. That's where the opportunity is. So they're used to their mobile devices, and having Coach Brad or Coach Mistletoe or Raphael or a lot of these leaders here take someone who's never been in crypto and bring him all the way from fiat to the D app in ArkFi. It's a 2-3 hour process. It's not scalable until we get these pieces put in. So we're even understanding now with the pressure that's on the price that we need to push even harder for the on-ramp, because that is where we're going to start to get that magic income, going to the AMAs, showing the utilities, and explaining to folks that we had a fantastic run. So many folks did so many well, but now we're at a point where there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, you can get a max wallet for what, under $6,000 or $5,000. I have to actually look at the math. So there is a lot of opportunity there. We just have to be effective at conveying that to so many investors. So I think it's very, very clear. Do we have any questions or comments?
Just wanted to make you aware that it's Monday night and we have breathing with Coach Roberto.
Ooh, let's go. Oh boy, we need a breath. my other breath on Mondays, actually the gentleman that runs that live breath thing, he wrote me that he's sick today. So I didn't go to that. So I definitely need my one round of breathing, and we missed. No, we did last week, but I missed it, the standing meditation, because we were dealing here with something on the safe and the transactions weren't going through for the Spark or something. So it's long overdue, but let's just give it, another 30 seconds, a minute, see if there's anyone that has any questions or comments.
I have one. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. See,
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes. I was watching closely to the pre-seed round, 15th, first and second, third. I'm very impressed. It's like a big ship is moving forward slowly and reach the destination one by one. It's doing well. Kudos to the team. I think the round four will be soon.
Thank you, Yuda, man. I appreciate you, brother. And I know you're there, handling the heat from the Korean community, and I mean, we've been seeing it here as well. And it takes a leader to be able to stand up and convey to folks to stay calm. Look, it's not the end of the world. On the contrary, we're going on our mission, and we're facing obstacles. Obstacles are part of life. And I can't think of one single project in crypto or company in the world who has not faced its trials and tribulations. It's part of business. We have to be conscious, I think, and realistic, especially when it comes to a product that is paying out so well, and how spoiled we have been, because everyone here has done their job. Everyone has been absolutely amazing. And, it was a shame. I saw a lot of, attention going. We were wondering what's going on here. Oh, everybody's talking about Pepe. James at the water cooler was calling, hey, how do I get into this Ben thing? And how do I get into this other Pepe? And I mean, it was ridiculous, but what are you going to do, guys? Who are you going to blame? When there's, people making, 1,000x in a couple of hours, because that's all you hear in the news, right? You don't hear about the poor schmuck that got in and lost his money. You don't hear about those guys very much. You hear, in these articles, because it's all a narrative. It's all the media, what they want to spin to entice folks. And we've seen this play out time and time again. And I want to commend every single one of you for your character and your loyalty and patience. It's not as easy as just pointing a finger here or pointing a finger there, and this guy or that person, or this didn't come soon enough, or the other thing. I mean, that's what high school children do. They play the blame game, and that's not what we're here to do. We're adults, and we've signed on for a long-term opportunity. We understand the risk associated. There are never guarantees. There are never any promises. Those are words you don't hear from us. Trust us. We promise you. That's not who we are. It's not what we do. We say, this is high risk, folks. It's just amazing how well everything's been going, and understanding the distraction happening in the market. You call up your friend, your neighbor, hey, you want to come into this project? In 94 days, you're getting your money back. What? 94 days? 94 days? I mean, I could buy the Pepe. Oh, come on. No. And we knew that's going to be short-lived. And now we're seeing a lot of, eyes and focus going to Pulse. And we need to understand that. So let's not beat ourselves up. Let's not go to the corner and flop and grow. We understand our market. We understand where we're moving. And we need to understand that even though it's tough, these contracts are still paying out every single day. And they're going to continue to do so. And we're going to continue to find our path and our new audience, because that's what we've always understood that the space needs. A lot of the folks in here just have that degen mentality, and they go from one project to the next, to the next, to the other one. And they're just cold-blooded. They I mean, look, you guys are our core family here, 45, 50, 60. And, when the shit's hitting the fan, we got 170 people. But we have 5,300 plus wallets. So we need to, I think, be understanding of not everyone thinks the same, not everyone has the same goals or expectations. And a lot of times I think just their negative thinking and expectations create the fear, the narrative. And it's the prophecy fulfilling itself by the actions of the fear of that inner enemy that takes over. So with that, let's go do some breathing. Coach Roberto, hope you're having a good day. You guys are playing tonight, the Heat? Are you putting on your jersey and going to Boston?
I'm breathing, baby. I'm breathing. I did yoga today. I sent a lot of love to all the Warriors here in the United States for Memorial Day, and then to the basketball Warriors.
Yes. The gladiators in the arena. So it's going down over there in Boston. Boston people, I think they have a really interesting accent, right? I say the ka. Let's go to the ka or something. Can someone do a really good? Maybe Johnny Fawcett. Can you do a good Boston accent? They're close enough. I can't do it too good, but I have to pay a lot of attention. Johnny, did you want to say something? Sorry, I'm on mute.
Yeah, I wish I could do it, but I know what you're talking about. Mark Wahlberg's got a good boss. You asked me, I could probably get someone else to say it first, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Got to park the car in the yard.
Park the car.
The DeFi diva. Okay, here we go. We got our fix. Oh man, yeah. Let's wish him the best. And I know we have a couple of folks here who are going for Boston. So it's kind of like when we do the Spark. We don't, it doesn't matter who wins. Whoever wins deserves it. And we're just happy that there's a winner. So we wish everybody here the best. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my my screen too, Coach. Let me see. Did I get it off? There we go. Yeah, I got it off so we can see your. Oh man, you're smiling. You look like you got some of that red LED therapy. Your skin's looking so flush and soft and like a baby.
That's what by breathing you get back to like how you felt when you were a baby. Soft and free.
And happy, man. Hey, Coach, do a flex for him. Show him the muscles. Because, man, this guy's ripped. You look at this guy, 71 years old. Can you flex for us a little bit? Or you're feeling shy to flex on him?
Feet, brother.
Okay.
I don't fight anymore.
Oh, yeah, you saw right there when he got the shirt. You saw those guns? Yeah, that's Coach right there. He's a strong one, man. He's a thoroughbred. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna turn it over to you for the breath. And I think Coach Mistletoe has got queued up the music.
Yes, the music.
And today,
so
I'll finally get it in.
Can you see me? Can you still see me?
Of course. Perfect.
Okay. All right. So today we're going to cover Zen breathing. And it's a perfect breath for the whole conversation that you just had about, work and being focused and overcoming all the fears. So in the breathwork world, we say that there's a belief that you live life either from fear or from love. So the idea is through the breath, to be able to connect to your real power, to your real selves, so you can open up your heart, so you come from love when you do everything in life. So the Zen breath, a fundamental principle in Zen is to be total in our relationship to life. Another principle is the beginner's mind, to live each moment as if it's the first. So in Zen breathing, with each breath, we pour new life into our body, into our mind, into our heart and soul, and we pour out our body, mind, and heart and soul into life, which includes work. So that's what people are going to be doing tonight in the basketball game. I guarantee you that both teams are going to pour their energy and their life into that game. So it makes it great. Doesn't matter, who wins and loses. It's good because that's a game, but it's like really looking at these athletes playing that game, how they're pouring all their life into it. And somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose because that's the games that we create. So we use this breath to develop the tendency to be open and available to the maximum potential that each moment in life holds for us. So one of the symbols in Zen is the archer. And there's no coincidence. The forces and dynamics required in archery match perfectly with the path and process of awakening to our full potential and the path and process of breath mastery. So conscious breathing calls for the same one-pointedness as archery and the practice of Zen. Breathwork, Zen, and archery all put the same ingredients into play. And those same ingredients support us in achieving our ultimate potential. So I'm not going to go really more deep into that, but, in Zen breathing, you are the archer. You are the bow. You are the arrow. You are the target. At the point of surrender and letting go, there's no in and no out. Everything dissolves into oneness and wholeness. And in that moment, all possible futures collapse into one actual present moment. So when we take the practice of the Zen breath, is when we take in the inhale, it's like pulling back the arrow. And then when we get the full air and life force into our body, we let it go. We do the same thing. We inhale, let it go. But you have to hit it at the right moment. You have to relax your body. You have to release that exhale. So our essential life purpose and our entire soul's journey can be reflected and expressed within the cycle of one breath. That's why sometimes they call the 1 hour of Kriya Yoga, Zen breathing, results in more evolution than many lifetimes of reincarnation. So to be sure, this is a path of fire and light. It is not for the faint-hearted or for the weak-minded. It is not for those who resist growth and transformation at all costs. It is not for those who cling to the illusion of separateness, or for those who insist on identifying with the ego or the reactive mind. If you stay with this breathing, one breath at a time, one breath will take you in that special place and will open up to an experience of pure presence and being. If only for a moment, but in a moment is enough. Having touched that place, you're nourished, renewed, and inspired. There's no forgetting, and there's no going back. So today we're going to practice that Zen breathing. And so you're going to choose a high intention for yourself, whatever that is. That would be your arrow. It can be something positive that you want to feel or embody, or it can be something limiting or negative that you want to release or leave behind. Breathing consciously, enjoying the feeling of being stretched open by the breath. As you approach the peak moment of fullness, focus totally on your heartfelt intention. Then in a flash at the point of fullness, release the breath. Set the breath free. Let the arrow fly. Set your intention into motion. When you breathe in, muster up the passion and enthusiasm you can. When you let go of the breath, let go of everything. Your muscles, your past, your sense of self, and your intention. Breathe into your highest intention and then release it to the universe. Do this with each breath, again and again, each time as it's for the first time. So now we're going to practice a set breathing. So we're going to breathe in, like pulling back the arrow, bring it in full, open your chest, fill in that energy, whatever that intention to your breath, and then you're going to let it go. So you can sit down or you can lie down, be comfortable. And we're going to do that breath continuously for a minimum of 50 times. And then the way I feel, maybe we go to 100. So I'll count it and everybody breathe together. So if you're ready, you can start playing the music. Are we ready? So inhale, get to the top, get to that fullness, and let go. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Let it go. Inhale through the nose. Bring it in full. Then let it go through the mouth. Now keep doing that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let it go. Inhale. Inhale. That's 8. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale 10. Keep it going. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale 12. Let it go. Inhale that intention into your heart space. Let it go. Inhale 15. Let it go. Keep relaxing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 18. Keep relaxing. Inhale. Let it go. 19. Now 20. Inhale deep. Let it go. Going to 21. Inhale. Let it go. Inhale 22. Exhale. Inhale. Let that arrow go. Nice and relaxed. Inhale 25. Inhale 26. Inhale 27. Inhale. Inhale 29. One more time. Bring it all full. Bring that energy in. 30. 31 now. Inhale. Inhale 32. Inhale 33. Let it go. Just let it drop it. Drop that exhale. Inhale. Bring that intention into your heart. Let it go. Inhale again. 36. Inhale. Follow that target. 36. Inhale. Bring in that love. Let it go. Love it to the universe. Inhale. Flow. Exhale. Flow. Inhale. Happiness. Exhale. Happiness. Exhale awareness. 39. Inhale peace. Exhale peace. Inhale 41. Inhale 42. Inhale 43. Inhale 44. Inhale deep. Let it all go. Inhale 46. Inhale 47. Inhale 48. Inhale 49. And for the last one, we're going to inhale full, and then we're going to hold. So inhale, hold that intention. Just hold it. Notice how you're feeling. Notice the arc moving to that end. You're sending all this attention, awareness, and abundance, and fullness, and peace, and happiness to all those 2 billion people that need our support and our help. If you have to let it go, let's let it go together. Ready, exhale. Notice how we're feeling. Open your heart. Just keep observing. Notice how you're feeling. Notice your power. Come back to normal breath. May you always be happy, healthy, wealthy, and free. I bow to all the warriors. playing, for breathing, for being part of ARK.
Powerful, man. Powerful. Sheesh. My shoulders hurt from all the the bows I was throwing. I'm not used to I'm not used to archery. We got a pro here, Brett Nordine, he's an archer, like for real. But
no one.
I only
No one.
Go ahead, Nato.
This is profound, and I wanna thank you for the depth of background that you provided on this method. I just didn't catch the name. Was it Send or Send? Could you clarify?
Send, Z-E-N.
Oh, excuse me, Zen, of course. And when you do the different arrows and you're picking up the arrows, which is such a way to personify the motion of this breathing process, if you have multiple things, you can have multiple targets, just like in archery, right? I'm not an archer, but I would imagine so. Would you imagine different targets and different goals, like either releasing pain or where you want to project to in the future? Do you use each new bow as a new target, or do you just recycle the same one and kind of emphasize that way?
It's whatever you choose. Either way, it works. But it's all, like I usually try to have like one, when I practice, and just do that. And then next day I might do another intention.
Right, because I don't want to mix up intentions. If you have like one, you want to release a pain or trauma, let's say, or just and then another one is a goal, more positive. So I see that focus on one is better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nato, did you feel something when you did it?
Yeah, and I don't mind sharing. I tend to sometimes hold things from the past, and I'm getting better at that over time. And I think it's everybody has a weakness, so I definitely was focused on releasing that, and also trying to express love for people that I may not have liked before, so that I can move forward. And that's so important to me, because I don't want to harbor that. In fact, that's why I've, over recent times, I would say, evolved to the point where I express myself without holding any agitation, because I know if I do that, and I think others can concur, then you could actually dissolve that feeling faster and not harbor as much. And some business people mention this too, and I felt, wow, there's a reason why you deal with things right away, so you don't harbor anything in the future. And so, yes, I definitely try to use this as a mechanism. I will continue to apply. Thank you, Coach.
Wonderful that you're doing that. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Nato. Anyone else? Do you want to share your experience today here? Breathing on the ARK Mondays. Mistletoe, were you arching? Did you get to arch? Is that your targets?
It's so perfect.
I wasn't doing the arch thing. I should have actually started doing that, but no, that was every time I do these breathings, I get tingly in my face. My face gets all numb and stuff. It's crazy.
That's awesome, man. That's really awesome. Taking its effect. Yeah, I got into the arching, and I'd open my eyes sometimes, and I'd see Coach. He was all like, "Whirr." He looked like he was in the Troy movie.
You have to be relaxed. Like Brett will tell you if he's an archer.
Yeah, man, he's the real deal. Takes a lot of patience and skill and practice to get efficient and Yeah, huge respect for that. Mr. Catalyst, did you get to arch the bow? Or were you on the Peloton? It's too early for the Pelotons. He does the Peloton later. But I'm always curious who was able to partake. Or Rafa. Go ahead, Catalyst.
I'm in an area that I'm kind of predisposed. So I wasn't able. I listened and lived vicariously through you guys. But I couldn't do it today.
It's okay, sir. The energy still rubs off, as they say. You're in the space and getting something out of it. That's for sure. And I think we got the notes. Do we have the notes on the Zen so that NATO and a lot of the folks that are interested can? Is it in the PDFs or that we put into the channel? We have that channel here.
That will be in Coach's breathing session by the end. Breathing channel by the end of the podcast.
Okay. And where can folks find that? Just so we can be clear.
Coach has his own breathing channel inside the one of the topics called L Happy Breath with L Happy Coach.
There we go.
Just posted in there just now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Here, I'm gonna throw a meme at it. Coach, check it out. See if you can find that one in your channel, in your topic. We can't hear you, Coach. You're talking, but I cannot hear you. Maybe you muted yourself. Is he muted? Yeah, Coach, you're muted. Do you see? Did you find your topic? That's me and you over a decade ago.
Only breathe, you must.
That's so funny, man.
That's great.
I came to see Coach all wounded, playing the high stakes, world of business, and clear your mind of questions, Mr. Atlas. Let's do a standing meditation here. Listen to the birds. And he had me hugging trees, all kinds of stuff, man. It's kind of like the Karate Kid movie, but for high-level business execs. He's got some wild customers, that's for sure. Oh, man. Happy days, folks. Happy days. And you're wearing red, representing your team for the big game today, Coach. Tapped in, tuned in, and turned on.
I'll change my shirt too. Get the
Let's go.
heat going.
Let's go, my
I'll
friend.
be watching too, Coach.
Huh?
I'll be watching the game as well tonight.
Yeah, it's either going to be the greatest game ever or somebody's going to get blown out.
Yep.
One of the two, it's going to crack or it's going to go to the end. It could be like a crazy. Last year, the Heat lost in Game 7. And it was about 10 seconds to go. Jimmy tried a three-pointer, and we would have gone ahead by 2. He missed, and Boston won.
And there's always next season.
Yeah, and we're in the next season right now.
That's what, and here at the ARK, we're in the next season too. we keep moving, we keep going. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
That's great, Coach. Thank you so much. We got Mr. Z. Z, were you here for the Archer, the Zen breath? This was a new one. I haven't done this one before. I don't know if you are just coming in.
Yeah, I was pretty active doing that. But I keep falling asleep. Coach puts me to bed every Monday, so I have to have a glass of water and get back to zone into the DeFi.
I went through that phase too, man. It's called resistance. And sometimes we just want to knock off and not be present and not, really deal with the things.
Coach Atlas, that's good.
Yeah.
So when they start snoring, you would be like, "Hey, wake up! Come back here, man! Oh man, okay. Hey, come on, let's
We
go.
do the
Be
same thing,
conscious."
but when I first started, I was the same way. I conk out every 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think what happens, man, I think like you have to understand that we live in a society that's always constantly getting this news feed, constantly in Facebooks and Instagrams and whatever news now, whatever we're doing, we're constantly doing it. And then when we sort of pause that and we start to breathe, just a simple thing of breathing in, breathing out, arching, I think it sort of tells the mind a different sort of concept, and then the mind sort of starts to shut down a little bit. And it's an important sort of aspect. I think this is why we don't sleep on time, because we constantly have news blasted, and we put our head on the pillow a little bit, and then we open up Instagram. That's it. Same ADHD, same sort of frequencies. Dopamine gets hit, and I think this is important to start the week where Mondays we sleep well, and I think you start that week really well, Coach. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Z. Great to have you here, brother. Big week here on the ARK, and thank you, Coach, for another banger, another fantastic session here. United in our vision, fighting for our future, fighting for the ARK, and couldn't pick a better community and leaders and folks who have been there, heard it all, and understand value and understand trials, tribulations, and how we get past those, how we overcome obstacles, how we are able to learn and pivot and get better every day at doing what it is that we're here to do. So with that, let's go do some fun stuff. Shall we bring up the wheel of the toad? I think it's going to be a 50 wheel of the toad today.
Let's do it.
All right. And we're getting close to the end of the month where we release the mass airdrop of all that BUSD to the prospective winners, to the all aboard contributors. We thank you all for your patience. This is something that we like to do at the end of the month. One swift airdrop. It makes life here in accounting a lot easier. And shout out to Mr. Mistletoe for keeping impeccable books, the Excel. He sends it over, everything organized. He verifies that the folks that are participating and winning deserve to win. They have a vault account. They are an investor here. This is for our community, not for stranglers, not for tourists, right? So thank you, Coach.
That's a good one.
Trying to find nice words. Yeah,
that is definitely what they are.
Yeah,
they come and they just take a peek in, and well, let me put my name on the book and see what happens, right?
This is for citizens and residents with their ARK Vault account. Fantastic, brother. So if it's somebody's first time, if they're a strangler but they are an investor here and they qualify, if you have an ARK Vault account, what's the opportunity that's right before us? Can you break it down to us, especially for those first timers?
Of course. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. Every single day we have an all aboard session, and after that all aboard session we do the wheel of the toad. It's an all aboard giveaway is what we call it. And every single day after the podcast we'll post a new sweep widget link. Sweep widget is just the website you'll have to click into to enter into the giveaway. What you're going to do is click on that new sweep widget link. You're going to be presented with a task list. All you have to do is go through those tasks. It's going to vary from liking and commenting some YouTube videos, clapping up some Medium articles, retweeting some tweets. And once you go through all the tasks, your name is going to pop up on this lovely wheel right here. And if we actually have over 50 participants in the podcast, we will actually bump it up from 50 BUSD to 100. But I know it is a holiday today in the US, so we don't have over 50 today, but that's okay. We'll still be giving away 50 BUSD. And this really helps all of the content creators push the algorithm, push it for ARK, and let the people know about ARK. So do get involved. It really helps everyone. And it's a chance every single day for you to win free money. Whether you want to save up for a foundation position, you want to save up for a legacy NFT, or you just want to plop it into the vault. The choice is really up to you. So do get involved. Without further ado, let's spin the wheel.
All right, sir. On the count of 3, 2, 1. They're spinning. Best of luck.
Congratulations, Renee Liz. That is a second-time winner. I know that for sure. Thank you for participating, everyone.
Let's go. It really is that easy. Microphone still okay, Mistletoe?
Yes, sir.
All right. Fantastic, sir. Let's go ahead and share here the screen, and let's gear up for the Spark. You see the screen, sir?
Yes, we see the screen.
All right. Time for Sparky.
Come on, Sparky. Let's go.
Here we go. Let's sit back as we get the cold storage number 2 ready to fire. And there it is, folks. We have today's Spark Prize winners. Their wallet ends in DEE7. They've won 732.03 ARK, folks. That is a street value of $1,356.04, putting them right into Nitro mode, right into their vault instantly. They're earning so much more right now. NDV through the roof, 2% all the way. They are first-time winners. Sheesh. And again, our MVP winning 10% of the spark. Their wallet ends in 4B45, taking to the vault 81.34 ARK. That's a street value of $150.67. Keep on trucking. This is what the buys are about. Most valuable player actually puts the work in to win the prize. Sheesh, it's not about luck. It is not about luck. With that, we're going to turn it over to our very own crypto DeFi expert, the one and only, the legend, Mr. Z. Hope you're doing well, sir.
Absolutely. I'm kind of back into a bit of consciousness, especially after that breathing session. Give me a sec, I'll share my screen.
James needs to come in from the water cooler, right? He needs to come and do some breathing with us because, boy, he's still sour about the Pepe. He's still not over it.
Yeah, Pepe's pretty down, no? It's like, I think 80% down right now, like the last I checked. Let's quickly check that.
Take a look.
Yeah, let's quickly check that.
Let's check that, and let's check Ben, because James also bought this thing called Ben, because a guy by the name of Ben, called BitBoy, he was promoting the coming of the next Pepe called Ben with one of the devs from, I mean, some of these stories, man, it's like, sheesh. All right. Oh man, actually, that's really funny. It looks like the 2017 pump on Bitcoin, and then down and then back up to the 60. It's kind of funny. Some of these charts. Okay, let's go. So where are we? 69. Okay.
Yeah, so we're 69% down right now. This reminds me of like when USDT first paired, like 2017 Bitfinex came in, paired USDT for the first time. That's how USDT made its debut. We went from like 3,000 to like 12, 15,000, and then we dumped hard, right? Back to so 7, 8, 9,000. So yeah, this is very 2017 like, but yeah, this is what Pepe's like. But Bitcoin did that over a year. This is a few months.
Now is Pepe, because ArkFi is down too. Listen, we don't hide away. We own what happens. And now is Pepe paying you 2% a day, or 1% if you've already ROI'd?
No, it hasn't got enough movements to be paying that kind of thing now. If you keep entering, you're making maybe a little bit here, a little bit there. Like you're making a micro sample of a game. It's not life changing, like 2%. So yeah, Pepe has a bunch of work.
Can we look at Ben? Can you look up if you see Ben, BEN? I think it's and that's another ETH one. He was foaming for that one. It's like, oh well, whatever happened to Ben. And I heard this was a heinous debacle too with the contract. If we could zoom out on that, please, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Pepe, but it's still down. From the top, it's like 50. It's in the 50% zone in the top. So it's another one. What's the hype behind this one? Is Ben a character? Is Ben an AI?
Yeah. The story I was told is that he was one of the devs on the team of Pepe, and then he decided to branch out and do his own, S-Coin. And then the other Ben, who is BitBoy, BitBoy's name is Ben, right? Yeah, the two Bens got together, and he promoted this as this is it. This is the next big huge thing out there, and yeah, I mean, some people they want to go that route, and hey, if it works out, great. But it doesn't always, and that's risking. It doesn't matter where you go, what you do. There's always risk associated. Of course, we love to see everybody win, but yeah, the Pepe was pretty heinous. Not to name any names, but there was a dev in the space, not too far away, I think, from our corner of DeFi, who was enticing people to just ape into Pepe, which I, at the time, thought was really irresponsible and not the right way to go. But we're going to leave it at that. I was just checking to make sure that the prophecies and these type of banters of of getting people into stuff that, I mean, the chances are so unfair, right? The possibilities of becoming a millionaire, the lure of put $50 or $100 and have a couple million in a couple hours. It's just good enough to get a lot of people to do stupid things and effective for those that are actually orchestrating right from the beginning, the whole plot, the plan. So thank you, brother.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to Ben, I have to say that like liquidity gets taken out really quickly. So if you were to enter it, even at the start, like if you're not taking profits real quick, you don't know where to. The predictions are such that you sort of take a position, and then you're down within 70% range. Like
what's the volume? What's the volume looking like? How many Lambos on those red candles? Right? How many Lambos? Yeah. That's where the Lambo comes in, right?
Yeah.
When you see those, that's when they're cashing out to get the Lambo.
That's what it is. So I mean, even like today, it was holding a floor and then it was down another sort of 40% from price. So these memes have like no sort of honor. I think they usually are pumps and dumps, but yeah, we'll keep an eye. I'm gonna keep an eye on both these coins.
That looked like Arthur Hayes. I think I recognize that wallet. I think that's the Arthur Hayes wallet.
Yeah, no,
oh boy, never a dull day here on the ARK. Ooh, what did Bitcoin do? Oh, yeah, interesting.
This is Bitcoin. I think currently, with sort of the debt ceiling going up a little bit, people have some money to risk. So after tapping into 26,400 a few times, we're seeing a cup and handle sort of pattern here, and then here. So we'll see if we touch. Yeah, like the last couple of days, I've been obsessed a little bit on what the Bitcoin price can do. We have a few big things. So this week, right? I've put some articles up. Let's go through them. But before I go into it, what I like this week is I did a little announcement in the Airdrop Army thing. I've been using ChatGPT in a way to like understand syntax and sort of resolve code and understand it more deeply. And I've put an article up there saying how to learn JavaScript using so JavaScript is a language of Solidity. So I'm starting to learn the basics again, and I've asked a few people there if they want to join a call once or twice a week where we use ChatGPT to resolve sort of issues and strengthen our understanding. So far, I've got like 3 people, but if anyone here is willing to learn some JavaScript and Solidity using AI, do let me know here, and then I'll start to schedule a few calls. I think Solidity it'll be pretty cool if us. Yeah.
Do you have anything like that for young kids, like an 8-10-year-old kid?
Yeah.
Okay, show me.
I'll send
you some conversation today with a young man, and I was talking to his father. They're visiting Thailand. They're from India, but I met his father many years ago in USA, and I spoke to him like 2 days ago, and he told me a really cool story that I'll share with you guys later, probably after the recording of the podcast. Really cool story from the kid, and he was asking me, "What do you think I should do with my son? You know, what kind of profession or business or university?" I said, "Man, it'd be great to get them involved with coding and software, engineering and things like that. If you look at the demographics in the United States of the highest paid, ethnicity or people from a place, and if you look at Spanish or Black or white or Indians, you would notice that the Indian population in the United States of America are the highest paid out of all. And that's because of those tech skills and backgrounds that they have, that they bring to the table. They're able to qualify for visas and go work for the big tech companies. So please send me that, because I did tell him, let me find out. There's some beginner courses for children that they could start playing games and doing little hackathons and great things to sharpen up the skills. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When you're young, you're a sponge, and if you have AI to support you, you get the answers to much. It's like the evolved Google. That's what I think Bard is. So if we use
Oh, by the
Bard
way,
to like,
Z, I've been
Mhm.
converted.
You been converted?
I've been converted to Bard, and I don't think I'll ever use Google ever again. Just like the regular search, it's
Yeah, yeah,
over. I needed to today. I was having an issue with my the remote fob for opening my car, right,
yeah.
and closing it. And I was looking on Google and trying to search the model of the vehicle, which is the right replacement battery, and so forth. And there was so many options. I went to Bard. I said, "This is the vehicle. This is the year." It gave me the correct battery right away, and I said, "That's it. I'm not going back." I'm not searching through Reddits and forums and all this stuff. No. I just want the answer now. Thank you. And go on my way. So, yeah, shout out to the Bard. I try to stay away from it, but why? Why? It really is impressive.
Bard is evolving everything for like legal perspective to like programming perspective. I was so when you do code, the reason it's frustrating is like you cannot find the solution. You got to like search Stack Overflow or GitHub to see if someone's resolved that issue. But now you can ask Bard the same question, like what does like error 235 mean, and it will tell you error 235 means that you're not putting the right syntax in this area, and this is why we use it. Like it not just does it give you the answer, it, like resolves it in a solution form. So yeah, it's got me back into like coding. It's been a while since I've done that. So
I did some
yeah.
research a couple of weeks ago on different places for taxes and what are the averages, and maybe I don't know 14 hours of research that I did. It did it in minutes. It gave me
Yeah.
exactly what I had found through all those hours of research. It's insane.
Yeah, I agree. It's converting a lot of people, and every person I speak to right now when they're asking me like career questions or crypto questions or anything, I'm like, ask Bard the first questions, and then that's the prerequisite now before you DM me. And it's working really well. People get their answers to their question and then get further stimuli. So I would recommend, yeah, if you're a career person, to look into Bard. Let me just quickly go into some news this week because we have a manufacturing index that's coming out. We have unemployment claims coming out this week. So I think this is going to be a decisive point for Bitcoin. I think either we can go up from here, or we go back into this sort of, you can say, consolidation back to 26,400. So like because there's a bunch of data coming out. We are like I think 3 days away from $35 trillion being printed in America. It's bizarre to think that the world's going through its conflicts and a sort of trial and tribulation, and America was, or like you could say, the American bank account was a week away from going into default. And we've just agreed to like a deal of 35 trillion to be printed. So I think this week is going to be volatile, and I think it could be a breakout. Either we break out above, or we go back down to 25K. So like if you see this the economic calendar that I'm showing, there's a bunch of different things. So like Tuesday, Wednesday, you have consumer confidence tomorrow. I mean, you had a bank holiday today, so there wasn't much trading, but you have consumer confidence. Then you have you can say job opening coming up on Wednesday. And then Thursday, you have the big, you have the unemployment claim, and then you have the manufacturing index. Manufacturing PMI is an important indicator, as it shows you how much of an import export the U.S. needs. And if it's like if the manufacturing is up, then it's good. But if it's down, then it's bad for the economy. So like it's going to be a challenging week for Bitcoin. And if people are in profit right now, as we sort of tapped into 27,500, if you're in profit on any coins or anything, do take it, because we are going back down as I predict. So that's the little update on Bitcoin with fundamentals to see where that sort of heads. Let me continue. There's some news on AI, but before we get into that, Bybit has sort of been approved to offer its services as a crypto custody service provider in Kazakhstan. This is quite big. Like Astana in Kazakhstan is like one of the most modern-esque areas in the Soviet side of the world. And yeah, so on May the 29th, the exchange announced its pre-approval from Kazakhstan's Astana Financial Service authorities to operate as a digital asset. So what I'm liking about Bybit, what they're doing is they're taking the Vitalik route. So before Ethereum sort of launched its proof of stake mechanism, Vitalik went through the Soviet route and went through all these countries like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, went to Serbia, and then before he went to Moscow. So I'm looking at Bybit and Binance also Binance is doing the same thing after its Middle Eastern route. It's starting to go into like sort of Southeast Asia and into like the Soviet arms, and they seem to be countries that are welcoming crypto custody quite a bit. So it's pretty interesting to see. So Bybit gets approved. So this is what the Bybit CEO had to say. He goes, "It has always been our primary objective to operate our business in compliance with relevant rules and regulations." And I couldn't agree more. Like when these companies get big and start to trade in the billions of dollars, all they want to do is comply with sort of centralized governments to like not break laws and be able to expand with good compliance. So this is it's bullish news that the financial authorities in Astana and Kazakhstan have pre-approved Bybit as a crypto custodial service provider. So people there will be able to trade using Bybit. The opposite's happening in America, where Bybit accounts are getting seized and operation is closing down, and we're moving to the Far East. So that's the news on Bybit. There's I think AI is something that's sort of seeing a bunch of funny things happen. One hilarious thing is a lawyer used ChatGPT in court and now greatly regrets it. So what happened was there's a small sort of court filing. I'll read this a little bit, and you guys can make what you want of it. So Stephen Schwartz, an attorney with the New York law firm Levidow and Oberman, was hired by Robert Mata to pursue an injury claim against Avianca Airlines. Mata claims he sustained the injury from a serving cart during his flight with the airline. However, after a judge noticed inconsistencies and factual errors in the case documentation, Schwartz has admitted to using ChatGPT for his legal research, according to a May 24th sworn affidavit. He claimed that this... so he claimed that this was his first time using ChatGPT for legal research and was unaware of the possibility that it contained that its content could be false. Instead of using his honest words to describe how he sustained the injury on the flight, he used ChatGPT to point out a better argument, and ChatGPT found, even though it gave the right recommendations of like issues that the injury caused, it still was inconsistent with his first real life story. So this was the first time we saw ChatGPT used in a court case. I've put this article in the DeFi link, so if you guys want to check that out, do check it out. The other thing that's pretty interesting is American Express, because American Express did get rid of, I think, quite a few thousand jobs recently, and it's so it's going. And I see a lot of companies go through this right now where they are using AI for their services. So this is the first time we're hearing this. So Amex, American Express, planning to use AI for approving cards and line of credit. So Express plans to extend its AI capabilities through partnerships, despite having experimented internally with numerous machine learning powered services. So yeah, instead of developing its own AI, you have American Express using what's out there right now to basically see if they can get people sort of credit checked before giving them an approval on a credit card. So yeah, American Express plans to use AI services to validate transactions, approve lines of credit, analyze customer sentiment, and predict customer finance. Despite the aspiration, a recent report from indicates that Amex currently has no intention of rolling out its own AI to compete with OpenAI. But per thing, so yeah, they're planning to. So they've cut down, I think, up to like 3,000 to 5,000. Actually, the numbers are 5,000 plus employees this year, and they've been experimenting with ChatGPT and other AI tools to do the stuff that normally people do. So things like lines of credit, approving lines of credit, customer sentiment, and validating transactions. That's the other big one that was taking a bunch of manpower. So it's pretty interesting to see how that's happening. Yeah, that sort of concludes my DeFi sessions for today. Hope you guys found that helpful. Thank you.
Hey, Z.
What's up, Neto?
Yeah, thanks so much for this overview. And I was wondering if you could clarify so for Amex, for example, just start they're not, when you say they want to use AI and in various companies, for example, that are doing rounds of layoffs in big tech, are they partnering with like OpenAI, or they're going to use the API as like a vendor for them to utilize AI because they're not doing in-house, or are they going to choose between the top? How is that working?
You use APIs. So what happens is APIs are sort of like circuit plugins, and what they do is they hire a developer to basically create. So you can use OpenAI's module, and you can also use Bard's module, and I think another company, I forgot the name, are using that. So what happens is you hire a developer and you create the right package, the package for like you can say like financial sentiment to find previous data and to audit that. So that's how they do it. So it's one click away. It's not like they're doing the ChatGPT thing of asking the direct questions like we are, but it creates a generative response. But yeah, it's sort of. I hope that kind of explains.
Yeah, no,
how
I understand. I follow API, so that so they're going to be licensing OpenAI to be able to get API access, like for their usage, correct?
Yeah, basically,
Okay,
you
and
take a. I think it's Microsoft. I think Microsoft is who you deal with. You don't deal with OpenAI anymore. So you go to Microsoft. I'm using this. It's how you do it with IBM APIs.
okay, and would any of these trends you feel overlap with the ESG score and metrics to kind of get quantify overall risk and things like that? Did you hear anything regarding that as well as credit score, stuff like this?
In Europe, that's what they've been doing. They've been using AI to pre-approve on a bunch of banks here. So if the module's working in Europe, I think it sort of goes to the US and other parts of the world.
So, I mean, I didn't use too much. I have a pretty good credit score. It didn't really, I don't like debt in general, but pay for what you could afford. That's my motto. But it's fine to leverage because people like that. But I've been noticing some of the apps in Karma. My goodness, like if you don't pay off like a balance on a card before the closing, I'm like, whoa, it just hit you like with a big. It was interesting. It's like I got an email notifying, oh, you got impact. I'm like, what? I mean, still good. Everything's fine. It's just, I'm just kind of surprised. So there will be more sensitivity with this kind of things. And also, my understanding, so there's a lot of credit, excuse me, there's appetite for investment in like the investing in debt. So they want to pump more, like they want to approve more people. So they're going to try to use, so they want to use AI to qualify more people, or like how you think they're, of course they want to reduce capital labor requirements for the bottom line. But do you think that it's going to actually help them find more pockets of opportunity for approving more people, or how do you think that's going to play out?
I think it's going to basically, like when it comes to a transaction validation, that's where a bunch of sort of, you can say, fraud happens. That's what most of their you can say support is dealing with. So I think it's going to work mostly in sort of transactions, but when it comes to approving, usually what I find with sort of AI and APIs is they're pretty cruel against customers and usually get rejected. I haven't seen. I think they want to break that sort of error down of like, because people
risk mitigation to reduce that, because usually I recall now, like if you don't get a certain credit or not approved, then you actually have it manually assessed, right? Then you say, can you do a manual review, and then they decide they can do something, right? If they see some kind of circumstances that were missed in their system, in their algo normally, right?
Absolutely. I think you do it the opposite way. And you take your risk down. But man, like there's a lot to look into this, and I think we're going to see many updates, I think, from Visa, MasterCard, and from the banks. So it's something I'm super interested in, and I'll keep you guys updated.
Okay, if can I ask one more real quick?
Do we have time?
Actually, Nato, we can do the Q&A after the recording. We're almost 2 hours into it. So in the interest of sticking to the 1 hour recording, we're way over, but we had a fantastic podcast here. Coach Roberto bringing the breath. Stay tuned. It's going to be soon live on our official YouTube channel. So looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. So if you missed the breath, you can go and catch it. If you didn't do the arching of the bow and all that, you can play it back and do it with Coach. Congratulations to the Spark Prize winner, taking down 732.03 ARK straight into Nitro mode in their ARK Vault account. NDV through the roof. MVP also coming in with a win. Shout out to them for bringing more investment here into the ARK. And folks, we're very, very excited. It's been just a fantastic day here. A lot of alpha, a lot of great ideas, a lot of fine tuning and molding the clay of everything that is under development on the ARK. We wish you all really a fantastic rest of your holiday Monday. I know in some parts tomorrow is going to be a holiday as well. So I hope everybody's really been able to reinvigorate, relax, and reset those batteries as we have a fantastic and very important pivotal week here on ARK. For the folks listening, thank you for your participation. Sorry the recording's a bit long, but we hope it was educational as well as entertaining. Please take care of each other. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow.